Mike Pachelli here. For this lesson, I'll be talking about the Beatles recording of Please Mr. Postman that they did in July of 1963. The song has 5 composers: Georgia Dobbins, William Garrett, Brian Holland, Robert Bateman, and Freddie Gorman. And it was a #1 hit for the Marvelettes back in 1961, which featured a pre-famous Marvin Gaye on drums. The Beatles found the record at Brian Epstein's NEMS record store, and they dug it, so they decided to give it their own twist. They played it live from December of 1961 all the way to June of 1963. And they did it on a number of BBC radio shows. In 1962, on the show Teenagers Turn, Here We Go, with Pete Best on drums, and that was the first time they wore suits. They also did it on Pop Go the Beatles and From Us to You. July 30th, 63, they're at EMI in the middle of the With the Beatles album sessions, and they do 7 takes of Please Mr. Postman, take 7 being the best, with the musicianship consisting of John Lennon on his Rickenbacker 325, George Harrison on his Gretsch Country Gentleman, Paul on bass, and Ringo on drums. And after they get take 7 done, they do overdubs, which is John Lennon double-tracking his lead vocal, and then John, Paul, George, and Ringo adding hand claps. With this song, the Beatles actually broke the Detroit Motown sound to the British listening public, and that was quite the feat. The song was mixed on August 21st, 1963, and it was included on the With the Beatles album in the UK on November 22nd, 1963, and it was released in America on the Beatles' second album on April 10th, 1964. So that's the backstory. Let's get started. John Lennon is using his Rickenbacker 325 on Please Mr. Postman. And this is a great song because no matter what your level, beginner to intermediate, you'll be able to play this song exactly like John Lennon did. And you'll only need 5 chords. You'll need an A, an F sharp minor. You'll need that 4-note, what I call Beatle D, it's kind of banjo voicing. And people ask me, how can you tell the difference between a regular D when he's playing or that 4-note banjo chord D? When he uses in a song the regular D, you'll hear this 5th sounds, this D and A, quite predominantly on that chord. But when he uses the 4-note chord, hear how you hear those 2 F sharps? Anyhow, put your ears closer to the speaker and you'll get it. And you'll need an E. Quality Rickenbacker. And an E7. Okay, and the rhythm is pretty much the same throughout the entire song. He pretty much plays 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That's pretty much his rhythm for the whole song. Only difference is he comes in on measure 5, and the first 2 measures he plays a little different. On the first 2 measures, he goes. From then on, it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, which is like playing the low strings on 1 then on 2 playing the high strings, and repeating that for 3 and 4 and then 1 2 3 4. And then he picks up, and you hear a lot of open strings as he's picking up to get the next chord. So I'll play you the refrain, rather a little slower than the record, so you see what I mean. Here's the beginning refrain where he starts on measure 5. He goes. And then it starts verse 1. Now again, on verse 1, 2, 3, and all the refrains, it's pretty much exactly that same thing, just 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So a verse is like this. And you see on that E7, it's a little different. Charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will show you exactly when he plays E, when he plays E7, if you want to be that precise. The The only difference, only time he strums a little bit out of context, we should say, is that on the second refrain, on the E chord at the very end, he plays and four and all downstrokes. So on the second refrain, I'll do that for you. He goes like this. Then on verse 3, there's some slight differences on measures 7 and 8. He just goes between E, E7 to E. I'll just play you verse 3. It would sound like this. So you see on those measures, he goes from E to E7 to E. And the only notable differences would be that refrain 3 happens, and there's 2 I will call alternate refrains, and he stops on measure 7. And so they sound like this. Like, here's the first alternate refrain. And that happens twice. You repeat that whole thing 3 times, and then you fade out on the 3rd time. So those are basically all the parts you need to play, exactly like John Lennon on Please, Mr. Postman. George is playing his Gretsch Country Gentleman on Please, Mr. Postman. This is a Gretsch Country classic. It's pretty much the same guitar without those useless mutes. And I'm going into a 1964 Vox AC30. George's part is pretty much, he's playing the same chords, but he's just kind of playing the root and fifth of every chord. So the root and fifth of A, the root and fifth of F sharp minor, the root and fifth of D, and the root and fifth of E. Now, he may be voicing the chords, full voicings of the chords, but he's muting, and you can tell he's just playing the low parts. So now, in the very intro of the song, he probably played normally, but they mixed him way down. But put your bad ears on, and you can hear this part I'm going to tell you about. His first note that he sings on Wait is an F sharp, and he plays an F sharp minor chord. Very on the record you'll hear, and then he goes to the A. Now, it should be noted, every time he gets into the A during the verses and the refrains, he plays C sharp, C, B, A. And every time almost into the F sharp minor, he plays a chromatic from A to A flat to G to F sharp. But he does a little variance on the beginning and on the first refrain. So, let's see. He plays that F sharp minor. He goes 3, 4. And he's leading into that first F sharp minor chord with a root fifth of an E, root fifth of an F, and root fifth of an F sharp minor. So again, he goes. Then they have them mixed up into the first refrain. Now again, like I said, on every other F sharp minor of this chord, he leads into it with that chromatic line. Except the very first refrain, he plays. So it's like A flat to A flat to F sharp on the very first refrain. So it's like. Second on the second time that F sharp happens, going into the F sharp minor, he'll play. Probably easier if I just play you an intro and a refrain and the first verse, and you'll see what I mean. So let me try to do that. So here's the intro, refrain, and verse 1. 2, 3, 4. And that would be into verse 2. And verse 2, refrain 2, it's all the same. That's what he does through the whole song. Every verse, every refrain is just root fifth, muted here and played. Softly like that. And the only thing that's different is like on the John part, on those alternate refrains, he stops on measure 7 too. So on the alternate refrains, he plays, he'll go, and he stops. But you do hear him play one lick on the very, very last refrain. He plays a lick. He goes, that little lick. So how can I show you that clearly? Let's see. I'll play you that last refrain. It would be. Again. Again, charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com will make it clearer than I can say it or play it. But that's all of George's parts for Please, Mr. Postman. I have put it together in a sound-alike so you can more clearly see how both guitar parts fit together. So please have a look at this.
Wait, oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, Mr. Postman. Mr. Postman, look and see. Oh yeah, in your bag for please, Mr. Waiting a long, long time. Oh yeah, from that gal of mine, there must be some merchandise from my girlfriend so far away. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see if there's a letter for me. I've been standing here waiting, Mr. Postman, so patiently. Or just a card, or just a letter saying she's returning home to me. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Oh yeah, in your bag for please, I've been waiting a long, long time. Oh yeah, from that gal of mine. So many days you passed me by, see the tears standing in my eyes. You didn't stop to make me feel better by leaving me a card or a letter. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see if there's a letter in your bag for me. I've been waiting such a long time since I heard from that girlfriend of mine. You gotta wait a minute. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh yeah, gotta wait a minute. Oh yeah, check it and see one more time for me. You gotta wait a minute. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh yeah, Mr. Postman. Oh yeah, leave it the letter, the sooner the better. You gotta wait a minute. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh yeah, you gotta wait a minute. Oh yeah, you gotta wait a minute.
Well, now you have a clearer reference on how both those guitar parts fit together. If you'd like to know it precisely, you can download the charts and tabs at MikePachelli.com, learn both parts, play along with my sounds alike, and you'll get it just like the Beatles. And I really appreciate your consideration in supporting my work that way. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that helps the algorithm allow more people to see my work. So have fun playing this great old song, and until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli. Thanks for hanging out with me.